You're tuned into news across the galaxy, where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
Live.
1, 2, 3, go.
Whoa, we didn't lose. We didn't lose. We didn't lose. We didn't lose. Let's go. Oh, we didn't lose. We didn't lose. We didn't lose. We didn't lose. But we still suck though.
All right, that's as good as it gets. Thank you for tuning in to News Across the Galaxy. We'll catch you next week. Till then.
All right, keep on nagging.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Full house.
Full house. Not the show.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
So if you see me distracted, turning a little bit, it's because I'm waiting for my boy. Yes, I said my boy. I don't know him, but he's my boy, Brendan Fraser.
Oh, you mean that guy right there on the TV screen?
He just won.
He won.
Oh hell yeah! Let's go. Shout out to Brendan Fraser. Just won the Oscar
Speech.
for Best Actor.
Do the speech for him. All right, Eddie. Speech for Brendan Fraser.
I was once Encino Man. Wait, was he Encino Man?
Just try to read his lips.
Yes.
And then I
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
Then I
Then
fought
the
some
mummy
mummies.
almost ruined my career.
Fought mummies.
And then I met the Scorpion King, and I was like, oh shit, how am I supposed to compete with the most electrifying man in sports entertainment? And then I knew it was a whale of a job. So I waited for the right time, and here I am. I don't know.
Wait, he was a Rocket Man or Bicentennial Man or no? What the fuck was that? He was a Rocket Boy?
You know what he is? He's Academy Award-winning actor, Brendan Fraser. That's what he is
That's
now.
what he is.
Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. My name is Zeddy. As always, I have Brian in front of me. I don't know if my mic sounds okay. Please let me know.
You sound incredible, sir.
I do?
Yeah,
All right. Perfect.
you're incredible.
Bedazzled. There we go.
Oh, Bedazzled?
Yeah.
Another good one.
Hello.
Blast
So now,
from the
now when I
past.
introduce you,
Another
you
one.
have to
Yep.
name your favorite Brendan Fraser movie.
My favorite, I think George of the Jungle.
All right.
That one's
Right.
pretty cool.
Hannah.
Nah?
Oh, to me.
Nah?
All right, wait, no,
To
not
me-
your hold on.
to me-
It's,
to
as I
me-
introduce
to
you.
me.
And the ones and twos, we got Chewy. What up, Chewy?
What up? What up?
So what is it?
Airheads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's a good one. That's a good one. We got Way over there in Nicaragua still doing his missionary work. Edgar, what up?
Bro, look at my back. I'm actually in the Citadel right now. If you know, you know. But here I am in outer space.
I'm glad you were able to build them a citadel in Nicaragua.
Thank you. Thank you.
Favorite Brandon Fraser
All
movie?
that crypto.
I don't know. I really like The Mummy.
Damn, bro, I wish I could hear that. I'm about to cry. Look at his eyes.
The cocaine is too much.
Something's going on with him. Look at the shot.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was telling you. And making his return after only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What a surprise. What up, Willis?
What's cracking?
Nothing much, bro. Just right here celebrating for our boy.
For our boy Brandon Fraser.
What's up with you, Willis? I know you're
Yes,
not the biggest
it's
movie, but
Simple.
you got one, though? You got a Brendan Fraser movie?
I am a movie buff. Bedazzled is the number one, bro. Has
Yeah.
gotta be Bedazzled.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Well, I mean, the actress doesn't make a bad movie either.
Well, that's the reason why I watched it. So
Yep.
Elizabeth
Because of the devil.
Wasn't it Heather Locklear? Or no.
Elizabeth
What's
Hurley.
it?
Elizabeth Hurley?
Elizabeth
Hurley.
And he was in H.
Sheesh.
Man, that
Okay,
lady.
now, my,
Oh,
yeah, my
Oof.
paisana.
Que mujer. Que mujer.
fish and chips.
Fish and chips and blokes
And blokes.
and queens
Blokes.
and whatever else they got.
Fucking blokes.
Bottled water.
Yeah. Little fun fact I was telling Bryant earlier. If you guys ever seen The Whale, by the way, this is also I was like so excited from. Oh, I love.
I've seen
movies
A
so
Whale.
much.
Yeah,
I've
me
seen-
too.
I've seen a couple, but anyways, the movie The Whale. I watched it and that's why I was like all excited. I was like, oh shit, this was gonna win. I love movies, by the way. If you guys didn't know this.
Hell yeah.
And
Movies?
once I saw it, I'm like, dude, there's no way this doesn't win. So I was watching the Oscars today. If you've seen it, this is a crazy fun fact. So he's like he's like the huge obese guy, right? Just I don't want to spoil the movie, but like he's in what you think is makeup and costume. So these guys won the best award for best makeup in the Oscars earlier today. And then they went up to tell their speech, and it's not even makeup, dude. They're using a new like CGI technology.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me that earlier.
Makeup. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Watch it, trust me.
Or-
Watch it, and then
or-
just think about it. It's CGI.
Or
They
it's
juked
just
it?
really him.
Nah, he doesn't look that fat right
He
now.
almost looks like George of the Jungle again.
Yeah.
And then Everything Everywhere All at Once is about to win best picture.
Well, it wasn't something earlier.
Dude,
Anyway.
it's won a lot of things. All right, we avoided it enough. Here we go.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, we didn't lose.
Now we could go through a couple things. So,
Okay.
Still rumored. Now, rumor seems to be on fire or heating up. So apparently, LA Galaxy are about to sign 19-year-old Lanús left back Julian. Say his last name, Edgar.
Alde.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alde. So yeah, I think Tom Bourget said it's pretty much just waiting for it to be finalized. He didn't travel to his last game, so looks like we have a left back.
Finally.
Also, the club president from Lanús is in town apparently to finalize the deal.
Or maybe he came to get Costa.
So right now, I'm sure Chris Klein has him on some yacht out in the middle of the ocean with a knife to his chest, telling him, "You better sign this guy now, or I'm like, you'll be sleeping with the fishes."
Dude, you're giving Klein way too much. Way too much.
I'm making him out to be like a Bond villain over here.
Seriously. I
is a Bond
I
villain.
wish he would do that much.
He is a Bond villain. He's a Galaxy villain.
Speaking of Bond villain types, I mean, man, Twitter is so toxic. But I don't know if you guys saw like a lot of people with the Julian Alde thing. A lot of people have been jumping on that guy, the spray beard guy. I don't want to say his name. But a lot of
yeah.
people have been jumping on him because they're
see that.
like, man, you like create your own like rumors and then you use a burner account to spread them. And like he was
I like Kevin Durant, huh?
and with the Julian Alde thing, he said something like, and then like people were angry at him, and he got into it with Tom Booger, and it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it's like Twitter is a very unique place. I like it though because there's a lot of shit
To
talking.
say
in
the
it.
least.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place to waste your time. But I do it anyway.
I don't find myself on there as much, which was part of the reason why I got off and it worked.
Nah.
So maybe I should not listen to you guys.
Yeah, you
And
should.
Good for you. Good for you, Eddie. Good for you.
And as I say that, I just retweeted something.
Oh, Eddie, there's something I wanted to mention about Alde, by the way.
Yeah.
It's if you mind, we could discuss this topic because it's something that a lot of people have been bringing up. Especially after this last game, people were saying, "Wow, we absolutely need Alde and Caligari to get here as soon as possible because our wingbacks are just awful."
Yeah.
So the question that I had was, are we absolutely sure that these guys are going to be a solid solution? Because you remember how excited we were when we heard that Kevin Cabral was coming over as a designated player. He's young, and we saw the hype video, right? We talked about this. And so we saw this. It was nicely wrapped up, gift wrapped. We're all excited. And then look at us, 3 years later. We're paying for this guy to play for Colorado too, and then come in for Colorado themselves and just completely vanish on their field. But what I'm trying to say is there's no guarantees that these guys are going to come in and do a better job. But that thing that I keep hearing from other people is we're talking about the Brazilian league, right? And the Argentinian league. And these guys, they're not burned out. They're young and they're probably very hungry because we've seen a lot of guys from South America come through here and use it as a stepping stone to head to Europe. So I was just wondering what you guys thought. Where's your headspace? Like, how confident are you that these guys are going to make a difference?
Hold on. I'll make mine short and sweet. I have little to no confidence these guys going to be big game changers. One, they're really young. and I feel like you still have to groom him a bit. 2, I've lost almost all confidence in this front office, and that's all I'll say. So wait and see for me. I can't get excited.
Hey, so
Yes, Chewy.
the EMLS St. Louis guy won.
Good God. Anyways,
Fuck that guy. I don't know.
Willis.
We ended up in quarterfinals.
I actually, what you said is probably not a game changer, but anything is better than Edwards at this point, guys.
I would have leered him.
Yeah, but that's like
I mean-
setting the bar really low.
Well, that's the thing though. That's where the bar is now. So we're already here. We're in it. We're in the thick of it. We got Edwards, and he's no good at defense. I've been saying that for a while. He's good in offensive, but not defense. So, I mean, any change right now at this point is welcome. So, I think, you know what, bring it on. They're young, like you said. They're hungry. I think they have something to prove. And usually, South American talents, they use the MLS to kickstart their careers, maybe in Europe, and maybe we benefit from it. So, I'm all for it.
I agree with that 100%. Also, my main plus side with all this is that these guys are young, and I'm seeing the trend of what Vanny's trying to do and construct here. You have young players like Ricky Puig. You have these 2 kids that are going to come in to play some defense. You had the debut of Jalen Neal yesterday. So it's heading in the right. There's some type of direction with these type of signings. So I'm all for it. On top of that, I mean, Edwards, what the fuck? And this could be a case where Vanny pushes Edwards up and we could use him as a winger. I know we still need wingers, but he could be an option now to push up. So, I mean, we can't get any worse, right? Hold my beer. Hold my
There's
beer.
more.
Yeah, one other thing to mention is one of the most important aspects of playing defense, especially at center back. I don't want to get away from the wings, but as far as defense, center backs, is being able to develop that camaraderie at the back. It's not like when you're forward, you got to be able to get into spaces or being able to make your runs so you could make sure to catch the passes from the mids or from libero or whatever. But when you're on defense, you guys are back there and you have to be able to communicate well. And that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. So if you're going to have a group of young guys in the back and you start working them and melding them from that young age over time, or like, I'm not going to say months, but let's get 2 or 3 years down the line, who knows? Galaxy might have one of the most solid, fluid defenses in the league. Cáceres will probably not be here anymore. Who knows if Sega will be around? But at least we're starting to see a semblance of something that could last for a while with Jalen Neal already making a huge step. And then we have these 2 other guys coming in. Hopefully it all fits together. And we have somebody else coming in as well. And it'll be a renaissance of a nice defense with Galaxy.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Good for us.
We need some positive, right? I mean, before we talk about the game, we did something.
We
Right?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
By the way, talk about not losing.
Yeah.
And if the homie Gio listens to this after, should have listened to me. Movie guy here picked all the winners. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, just won Best Picture.
Ah.
See, I need something to get excited about. I know.
That's,
most
Brandon
listeners don't
Fraser just won.
Yeah, most people don't care.
Now Best
But-
Picture for whatever. What's it called?
Everywhere, Everything, All at Once.
That shit.
That sounds like a Beatles song, dude.
Oh, dude, check it out. It's a trippy ass movie.
Yeah. I have to watch it.
But yeah, people have been bugging me like, you have to watch this movie, Edgar. It's like,
Yeah.
chill, man. I'm still watching the Ninja Turtles. Chill.
From 1980.
There's like
Yeah.
there's like a
That's
certain,
the real April O'Neil, damn it.
dude, there's like a certain corniness to the movie that's like dope. Just watch it. Anyone that's seen it in the chat, just make give these guys a reason to watch it. Anyways, back to
Coffee.
coffee and this sad reality that we call the LA Galaxy.
Damn.
Damn it. That's what it feels like.
I mean, we're banking on kids right now.
Yeah.
I promise you, like, if we were an okay team with okay defenders, we would not be excited about 2 teenagers coming to the team.
But it's something to be excited about.
yeah, because of the situation we're in.
It's
Well, it's not just that. I think, well, at least for Jaden Neal, he looks the part.
We'll
That's
get to that.
that's the point. That's
We'll
fine.
get-
I think that's why we're excited.
We'll get to that.
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
And I already mentioned the other winger coming. So Lucas Caligari, who actually is an official Galaxy player, still waiting for the P1 visa to
Yeah.
get to the US. And you know that shit takes forever. Vanny
Mhm.
joke. Sometimes it takes 10 days to 2 years or something like that. So
2 years.
so we're basically playing the waiting game.
Yeah.
Utatu.
I mean, how long has it been now? When did he officially sign?
Utatu.
Well, I seen. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That guy is just stuck
I
in
saw
limbo.
this on the Athletic 6 days ago that it should be ready by this week.
Yeah.
His P1 visa, but I mean, like you said, there's no timetable on these type of things, and it's a player that we could use in this next upcoming home game against Vancouver.
Could use the last.
You,
could've
you
used
know
him.
how it is
Yeah,
official?
he has to, but yeah.
This is how you know it's official. If you go on FIFA 23 and you update your rosters, he's there.
Oh yeah.
You know
With the
what?
Galaxy.
You
He's
know
like a
what?
little shadow
That's
person.
not true because Costa's still not in there. Well, I guess it is true.
He's not. Yeah,
Summer
he's
Coast is
perfect.
coming, baby.
Hey, if you want Costa, you have to buy a PES.
Oh shit.
It's the
Summer Coast vibes.
Brasileiro edition. That's
The
on.
Brasileiro edition. I wonder if he's even on that game.
Even what?
Mhm.
PES Pro Evolution.
PES.
Yeah.
Best.
Best.
There you go. I don't know. Anyway.
Isn't it called like eFootball now or something like that?
It's eFootball, yeah.
No, that's gonna be FIFA.
No, that's. I
No,
think
that's Pro Evolution.
Well, what is it FIFA gonna be?
It's just gonna be
EAFC, something like that, right?
yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my god, that's cringe
So,
shit.
I mean,
Get the
it's
fuck
just
out of here
a
with
game,
that.
But EA Sports is still gonna rule that. Anyway, should we keep
I know.
sidetracking?
What are you doing?
Guys, we're supposed to talk about the Galaxy as much as
Oh,
we
I
don't
thought we were
want
talking
to.
about WrestleMania.
Okay, so no, just kidding. Yeah, don't get us started. That one's
Hell
going
yeah.
forever. Damn, all the
Nag after dark.
all the
Nag-
next at WrestleMania.
Hell yeah,
That's what's up.
dude. The best match is gonna be the Intercontinental.
No,
Has
all
to
right,
be.
stop.
Nag after dark, guys.
It was
Nag
just a
after
joke.
dark.
It was just a joke.
Fuck.
Relax.
I'd rather talk about WrestleMania, to be honest.
I mean, it's more exciting.
Yes.
I have something to share with you guys.
Is it Galaxy related?
Yes, it is.
All right, cool.
Fuck.
Let's go.
I mean, it's MLS related, and
alright.
it's one of our topics anyway. It's like the I don't know how many people that are watching us right now have been following that best MLS kit of 2023 kit tournament that I've been setting up.
Oh,
I did it.
yeah.
I did it because more than anything, I wanted to get more attention to the articles that I wrote,
Mhm.
but also I was really curious to see, what people thought, because a lot of people were like, "Ah, damn it, Edgar, why'd you put that one number one, number two, whatever?" And I was like, "Well, what? Well, let's see what you have to say. Let's see what the gallery has to say. Let's see what everyone else." And there've been some shockers in there, but we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Like it's almost there to the bottom, and. Just so you guys know that the Charlotte fans, for some reason, they showed up in droves and they knocked out Nashville. But now they're up against Houston and they're losing, which is like really shocking.
That is weird. They're losing to basically an orange tree.
Oh, it's a nice shirt, man. But still,
It
I
is
was
not.
like,
It
well,
is not.
You know what?
But-
All what all of this means, right? Edgar?
what's that?
That you have more followers from Houston than you do from Nashville.
Damn.
So we got somewhere to stay, bro. So whenever we travel there, you gotta put it on Twitter. Like, hey, I saw your votes.
Yep.
Hey, I saw your votes. Let me in.
Yeah, no, the Charlotte people, man, when they went up against Nashville, they had 275 votes. I was like, damn, man, it's a lot of people. Right now, there's only 46.
It's Eastern time. That's why. Maybe tomorrow.
But anyway, there's some really nice shirts in there. If you guys are out there watching, listening, if you're listening now, do me a favor. Go to my Twitter, on the Twitter page, check it out, and go in there and vote. Just because I'm just curious to see what everyone else thinks. I want everyone to have a say, so that in the end, even if it's a popularity vote, I just want to say, like, damn it, all these people voted for the shirt because they liked it, and that's that. And just so you guys know, tomorrow, Galaxy jersey, the LA kit, will be up against Minnesota's Northern Lights.
There you go.
So show up and vote, damn it.
Yeah. And you can find Edgar on Twitter as Edgar Nags
Not to be confused.
Not to be confused.
with Eddie Nags. And you can
Yeah,
also
we're-
find the articles on nagtv.com. That's nagtv.com.
Dude, Edgar, you should change your Twitter handle to not to be confused.
Not to be confused with Willis.
Never.
Let's go.
Oh no,
What did you do?
I just saw the next category.
Well, now we got to talk about the game.
Damn it.
Fuck, it's the game.
Fuck, we're trying to delay that. All
Hey,
right.
Did you guys hear that Brendan Fraser? No, I'm just kidding.
Do we?
Do it.
Here we go.
Just do it.
Actually, I should be more excited about it because my prediction was totally wrong in a good way.
Yeah, so was mine.
Oh,
But it's still not that excited about it.
It's oof. It was a very
Look
harsh
at the
game.
title of the episode. That tells you everything.
Runaway. What is it? Runaway with a point.
Runaway point.
Runaway point.
Whatever.
That's exactly what it was, though. And I'll take it.
So
take it. Take
yesterday, your LA Galaxy took on Sporting Kansas City at Children's Mercy Park at 5:30 p.m. And we were not very optimistic. I think Edgar was the only one that was optimistic that gave a prediction here. And I want to see how optimistic you guys were after the lineup came out. One surprise, and well, two surprises for me. And I'll mention which ones. So Jonathan Bond started in goal. Right back, you had Leerdam. And center back pairing of Jaden Neal, which was a bit of surprise there.
Yes.
Martin Cáceres in the other center back position, and Raheem Edwards at left back. In the middle, you had a repeated midfield. You had Memo Rodriguez out left, and to me, the surprise with the performance, in my opinion, was Efra Alvarez again in the wing, which is a bit alarming, and we'll get that poor dead horse. Brugman and Delgado sitting in the CDM. Ricky Pooch sitting on top, no changes there, and Dejan Jovic solo on top. So, you guys saw this lineup. How were we feeling once you guys saw this? Whoever wants to take the floor, go for it.
Back-to-back goes. I also had that in my mind. There is no way this team with practically the same lineup is going to do any better than last week. The only thing that I was happy about was the Jalen Neal start. Something that actually I posted on the NAG Twitter. PSA, start Jalen Neal this weekend. And he did. That was my only positive. Everything else was like, no, we're going to get wrecked. This team didn't show us anything last week. Anything positive for us to look forward to this week. And surprise, surprise, they did not disappoint.
Oh yeah, dude. He gave me 10 fantasy points. Jalen Neal.
Ah,
I
perfect.
had him starting. So
Nice. What about you guys, Willis or Edgar?
Yeah. Like Brian said, I mean, same lineup. It's kind of hard to expect something different from the same lineup. But Jaden Neal though, I think honestly that was that was surprising to me. That was surprising that they did it this early. That he did it this early. I did like that he paired him with Cáceres, just because you got that veteran teaching them the ropes basically. And I think that's gonna be the theme of the year this year. It's gonna be the youngsters getting the time in with the veterans, and unfortunately, that's also gonna include number 7.
Oy.
Unfortunately,
Oy.
I'm sorry, guys, but that's just what's
By the way,
that's what's gonna happen. I think.
I completely forgot about that.
Mm.
I'm upset, and I will be upset for a very long time until things change, because they gave it to him, and because, again, to me, it's more than a number with this team. I'm gonna call him number 7, because that's what this team is making him to be and feeding us. So, number 7.
Number 7. So he's not Efra. He's number 7.
They're,
number
they're
7.
feeding us number 7 and him the number 1 from
With grilled onions.
from McDonald's.
All right. Edgar?
Well, obviously, the biggest surprise of all was seeing Jalen Neal there. And I mean surprise like in a really good, happy way, because we've been watching his development, or the last year and a half, 2 years, especially if you've been following him with Los Dos. And I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with his mom. She's very visible on Twitter, and she was posting how excited and just over the moon she was when she found out that he was getting the start. I heard that when Vanny told Jalen Neal he was starting, he actually called his mom and told her, and she was like a target. And then she just completely started crying and just ran home to watch the game. So that's a beautiful, beautiful family moment. Uh, the other thing that I saw was obviously Mavinga wasn't in the lineup. But let's be honest, he did awful. He did horrible last week. And to have Jalen Neal start in front of him, it's something that a lot of us were asking for, hoping for, and we got it. And to see him come in there and be part of that lineup was exciting, a little scary too, because you don't know how he's going to do. Because, we're talking about watching the lineup before we actually saw the game. So, yeah, and I was very optimistic with Dejan Joveljic. I was hoping that playing against Kansas City, which is a worse, they're worse than Dallas. I'm sorry that they are. I was hoping that he would be able to find the net. And so I was really excited and hopeful that him and Ricky Puig could start linking up, maybe get some other passes from Brugman, who we've seen get involved in the offense. But boy, oh boy, was I disappointed.
Yeah, so, my opinion, number 7, right? That was the biggest red flag there. I was like, great, here we go again. Please, Vanny, tell me why.
Tell me why.
And I was excited for Jalen, and Brian can tell you this. My only concern was, and I think, we're all high on Jalen here.
Yeah.
My only concern here was not necessarily the team, because, Kansas isn't great, but I have respect for Peter Vermees, even though he hates the Galaxy. So I was a little nervous that as good as a coach that Peter Vermees was, that he was going to go
And exploit that.
Yeah, exploit, inexperienced defender. But we'll get into it, and I was wrong twice in this game.
Yeah.
Happily wrong. So, yeah,
Yeah,
we could start.
What did they say on the broadcast that Vanny has never beaten Vermees?
He hasn't. I think it's like
not with Toronto.
it's just, yeah.
never with
Yeah.
the Galaxy.
To date, he hasn't beaten Vermees.
There are certain managers in the league that just have his number. Like, oh my God, the Seattle manager, what's his name?
Oh man, now you made me blank out for some reason.
Me too. I blanked out. I had his name and I forgot.
Schmelzer.
Smeltzer,
Smeltzer.
yeah.
Yeah, for some reason he has a lot of issues with him too.
Hey, you know what I heard though?
Hmm.
Heard Schmetzer's doing better than Bob.
Damn it.
By the way, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Go ahead.
Damn it. Well, me too.
What's
Well,
wrong with everybody? Just forgetting.
True Galaxy form, baby. Let's go.
We just don't want to talk about the game.
We don't. So there was a first half.
The commercial underground says Schmetzer, Vermees, and Frazier. True. When does he beat
Brandon Fraser?
Yes,
See?
Brandon Fraser.
Greatest coach, greatest actor. Everything, baby.
This entire time, we didn't know it. He's actually playing the part of Robin Fraser, kind of like in Tropic Thunder, baby.
I was gonna say that Robert Downey Jr. Damn.
And he had his own show. Damn.
Frazier. And he was Beast. Damn.
Damn. That's the Brandon Fraser. What is it? Iceberg right there.
Damn, what a common name.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
Frazier on Frazier Crime. Let's go.
Didn't even think about it. I'm gonna ask our good friend David to do like a painting with all the different Frasers.
That'd be funny.
Just like an awkward ass
Yeah,
picture. Like
that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay, so we can start talking about the game now. I was actually watching it next to Bryant and
At the Nag Pub.
at the Nag Pub, and I pointed out right away. It was like, dude, same start as last week. Well, first I do want to point out the Jalen thing because it gets way better, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Shaky first moment.
His first touch.
Yeah,
His first,
shaky.
Oh, yeah.
His first touch was like, made me nervous. I was like, fuck, but
Here he goes.
that was it though.
Yeah.
After
After
that-
that. Yep.
Beautiful. But what wasn't beautiful and it didn't really get better was that middle from the beginning, right? Brugman and Ricky turning over, running into people.
Yeah.
Again, number 7 beating a dead horse. It's gonna be the same, and I'm with not giving the Geo award to him because
That's his game.
That's his game now.
Okay.
Just he holds on to that title.
Game is off award forever.
Yeah, until you change the number.
Yeah.
It was all bad. The only one that to me, 2 actually, you know what? It's actually only Ricky Brugman and number 7. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Memo didn't have a stellar game or stellar start, but he was way better
Then last week. Oh, yeah.
and then what I kept pointing out, which I was getting frustrated in the TV, if you guys remember, if you guys look back, Delgado was left in no man's land a lot of times. He turned over. He was forced to turn over
Yeah.
the ball. Right. There's a lot of plays where I'm sure people were upset at Delgado because he threw it away. But there was points where he would get the ball and then he'd pick up his head. He had time and he looked around. There was nobody.
Wasn't he? He was playing behind Efra, no, or close.
No, well, the way they have him lined up.
He was on his side.
Yeah.
But it was in those positions. It's Ricky, it's Brugman, it's Leerdam, and it's Efra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has to give him an outlet, an option, and it wasn't happening from the jump, from the beginning.
During the game, you saw Delgado visually frustrated and making signs to the players like check in, and that's one of the things I've never seen him do. And it's like you said, it was clear cut.
Oh yeah,
Nobody checked into him.
I've never seen it was early on too when I pointed it out. He threw his hands up like in frustration. I don't think I've ever seen Delgado do that.
Yeah, me neither. And that's kind of telling you what this team is now.
Yeah, there's no connection there. I mean, we can sit here and blame Leerdam and number 7 because that's who are well. Although I'll go on record and say I don't have much to complain about Leerdam. I just think he's a stay-home defender. Maybe people are just so used to Julian, but in the first 2 games, I don't really have too many complaints. But anyways, people want to point the fingers at them, but Ricky and Brugman have as much to blame in this situation.
Another very off game for what I consider to be the best center mid trio in the league, or should be. Definitely have the skill set for it. And watching the game while I was here with Eddie, and the whole time we're watching these guys, Ricky had to check down a lot. He wasn't taking up space in the opposition's third where he could receive the ball, turn around, and give it to Dejan. He had to come down a lot. Brugman, for some reason, his passes weren't as crisp as we are used to seeing. And then the Delgado thing. Well, nobody checks into him and stuff like that. Another thing would be that the wings aren't really
wingers.
Yeah, they're not really helping. Memo, as much as you want to put him out on the wing, he tends to drift to the middle more than he does to play out wide. Maybe because he's naturally a center mid and he's more used to playing in that area. But maybe that didn't help either. Not sure what the game plan was going into Kansas City to try and get a, nothing.
I can tell you a little bit from my observation.
On the first half, I mean, please enlighten me.
Well, one of the things that we saw Dallas do really good was that Galaxy is really lacking on the wings, whether it's up top or in the back. And so Dallas knew that. And so one of the things that they did that really neutralized the Galaxy attack was they forced LA Galaxy to try and move up the middle and muddle things up for them. And so when Galaxy tried to attack with the wings, they went up. Dallas countered and caught them upfield. And that's what led to those goals, right? They caught them with, on the break, with their pants down. There was nothing they could do. And so Kansas City, they're not as talented as Dallas. And we saw that because they were having a really hard time trying to find the net. Bondi made some good saves as well in the second half, but still Kansas City, they weren't as threatening without Johnny Russell. And that was one thing that I tweeted out before the game started. I went on and looked at their injury report, and Johnny Russell was out, which I had mentioned last week. Apparently, he has hamstring issues, just like Chicha. So he's going to be out for a while, apparently. So that's one thing that was working in our favor. But damn, Kansas City, they made things so difficult for that Galaxy mid. because they knew that didn't have to worry about the wings. And it made and one of the things that I noticed about them is they did another thing that Dallas did, which is they worked really hard on the high press to make sure Galaxy had a really hard time getting the ball out of their defensive third. And we saw that a lot in the first half, especially in those first few minutes, those first nervy minutes, when it looked like Kansas City was going to score any second. And Galaxy, we've known them. They're a team that they're not very good when they have possession of the ball, and they had a lot of possession in this game. If you look at the statistics, I'm looking at it right now. They had the ball for 53% of the time, but for what? 8 shots. Meanwhile, Kansas City, whether it was just some stupid shots or just firing, but you know what? Eventually, you're gonna find the net, right? They had 30 shots.
Yeah.
And they were creating a lot more in the Galaxy. Galaxy, I think, was just trying to, find that, if you follow baseball, just trying to hit home runs instead of trying to get hits and you push some runs like that. They were trying to go for the big ones, and it wasn't going to happen, especially tonight. Dejan Joveljic, you know how many touches he had in the box?
None. Yep.
How many touches did he have in total?
Let's see.
Probably like 2.
No,
They completely erased him. Now that's a different thing. It could be that either they stepped
That's
ahead.
not on it. That's not on him though. That's not on him.
Total touches
I don't think
is
it's on
on
him.
him. Total touches has to be
No,
on him.
that's
Yeah,
not on
no,
him
no,
because
yeah.
no. The
No, you wanna-
wingers, if you're gonna blame somebody, you gotta blame the wingers. You gotta blame the midfield.
No,
how horrible they were playing.
We'll get
all those turnovers.
We'll get to that.
you know?
Actually,
Yeah.
I actually have my take on Dejan and his touches and all that. But honestly, Edgar, I still didn't hear a game plan. You were gonna hit us with the game plan, and you.
Oh, no,
Started
you
talking
mean
about last week.
the Galaxy game plan?
Confusion.
Yeah, in this game, I
There
still,
was no game plan. It was just like, hey guys,
See,
yeah,
you tricked us right now, just the way.
no,
Vanny
but
tricked us
no.
and
The
said
one
this is a
thing
good
is
team.
like, hey guys, I know this is meant for Chicha, and you remember you mentioned this to me, Eddie, earlier. Yeah, this is meant for Chicha, but hey, Dejan, do the best you can, and maybe we'll find you in the box.
But it's interesting what you said, right? And again, I give credit to Peter Remis for being a good coach, but I didn't pay close enough attention. But I wonder if there's truth to that, where Peter Remis is like, just don't worry about the wingers, right? Because we're dead laughing. Oh, I swear I was going to talk about him this much this time. But number 7, when you get it, because Brian over here, Mr. Too Optimistic.
Well, you're the only one talking about him.
Put his head in his lap, bro, because he was like an ostrich. He tried to hide his head because Efra had like 30 steps on his defender, and the camera like switched to where you could see like the defender just coming behind him, and he just didn't cover the ball or nothing. And thank you.
Yeah, it was embarrassing to watch.
But yeah, I wonder if there's any truth to that. But at the same time, I also think Edgar, the middle just made it difficult on themselves.
Yeah,
Like what I mentioned, the Delgado thing is the best example because it's not that people were guarded; there was nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody
There's nowhere to
checked into
go. It's nowhere to go.
And the thing is, when these type of games, when you have a coach who actually knows how to coach, you zero in on the guys that are important, and that's why Joveljic didn't even have a shot, let alone get a touch in the box. And when that happens, I mean, how does Vanny not? Well, I mean, they do see it that they need wingers, but get these wingers in here. We need productive
That's
wingers.
the thing, though. Eddie mentioned earlier what was the game plan. The game plan was don't lose. I think that was the game plan. That was the game plan because obviously we know that this roster is incomplete. We know what's missing. You think he knows what's missing. He knows the wingers are missing. He knows that that's where our weakest link is on the wings. The thing is, there's nothing he can do about it right now.
Yeah,
you gotta buy some time. You gotta buy some time and not lose.
I beg to differ. That there's nothing he can do about it.
Well, okay, well, who are you gonna put there?
I'd
Hold
rather
on,
put
Tyler Boyd. Okay, fine, I get that.
Yeah,
but
Boyd's not ready.
He's not ready
I
yet.
can
He's not
give that.
exactly. He's not ready yet.
Well, actually, no. Edgar made a good point, dude. The way the wingers look, if that's the case, I would take out Boyd and put in Boyd and take him out early if you have to.
You know-
I'd rather start him.
piggybacking
No.
off what you said. No, check it out. Piggybacking off what Eddie said, and it's something that him and I discussed was like, hey, why not start Boyd? Yeah, he's not going to give you a full 90, but what was one of the things that number 7 was really good at last year? Was subbing in, right, and giving you like a little bit of offense. You don't ask him to run.
Oh,
You don't ask him to run for too
when you
long.
say- when you say it like that, yeah.
Edgar, pause for laughter. You didn't ask him to run. Should we hit it?
Sorry, guys. My name is Efra Alvarez.
Oh, shit.
I'm a Mexican.
You got any Futurama fans out there?
Futurama. Go
No.
ahead.
Now time for dramatic pause. No?
Nope.
Fucking Calculon?
Calculon.
No.
Good old
no,
Calculon.
Calculon? Oh my god.
Anyway.
Oh hell, the Nemoto.
Oh,
Those
Hypnotoad.
wingers.
Hypnotoad.
Fake ass fans.
Hypnotoad is funny.
Hypnoto.
Yeah.
Brian couldn't spell slurm.
I know. It was, no, it kept auto
Shut
doing.
up. Shut up. That's
Sorry,
not even a
dude. You
word
know,
either.
I got I heard a noise over here. That's why I stopped. I was like, "What the hell was that?" I think it's a coyote.
Let's see. Do you know the worm's name?
Slur McKenzie.
There you go, the original party worm.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm tired of partying.
Oh, this is so much more entertaining than talking about the game.
I know.
All right, guys, we're going off. But it's more fun.
So, anyways, the argument, like Willis said, like there's nothing you can do. I don't believe that.
Start Jonathan Perez.
No, I get it.
Over
No,
number
start
7.
Boyd and then have Efra come in.
Yeah.
Or number
Yeah,
7.
but Boyd is not gonna give you 60
Yeah,
minutes.
that's what I
67
said.
minutes.
You know, he's not going to give
he's
you
not gonna
like
give
a
you
full
60
game.
minutes though.
We don't know that.
You're gonna waste a half. You're gonna sub him in at halftime. That's the thing.
But okay,
So you might as well just have
we-
Efra
we-
give him the chance.
we live in a time where you could do 5 subs, and if you do one at halftime, it is.
Well, you're not gonna spend all 5 subs on a wing, Eddie.
Nah,
Five
but
wingers.
it's more than what fucking Vanny
we
does.
don't
right
even have 2 wingers. Why you don't sub 5 in
You
there?
think number 7 has a Hypnotoad, and that's how he gets Vanny to start him?
Oh, hell, the Hypnoto.
Semitoad.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, the Galaxy game. God damn.
But no,
Oh, the
I
Galaxy.
would, dude. There's other options. Okay. Let's say Edgar's right, and Efra is like a come off the bench type player. Then it would make sense to start Aguirre that has more pace, and like this is not even joking, right? Like Efra has no pace.
Nah.
We've seen it.
Yep.
You know, he looks tired when he gets on the field when he starts. Give somebody like Aguirre that's young still could help tire out some of these players, and then bring in Efra. You know, it's gonna be fucking insane, in my opinion, if Efra starts number 7 starts for a third time in a row in that same position.
You said his name.
You can't say it 3 times in a row. You can't say it 3 times in a row.
Right? No, but wouldn't
He's
it
going
be
to bust your door down like the Kool-Aid man.
Tell me that it isn't crazy, Edgar, because I know you're in the same opinion that if he starts, I don't want to see him start at all, but I would get it if they move him into the middle somehow, right? But if he starts in the same position a third time, you got to think, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah. I mean, you can only buy, you can only sell so many number 7 shirts right now.
Yeah.
If
I had
anybody's buying.
I had a pre-order that shit was sold out.
Damn it.
What's the solution here? We already know this.
What?
Roster's
Yeah.
incomplete.
What
Well, I
is the
offered a solution for now. It might be a temporary solution until we see him get more match fit. I say
More match fit.
Start Tyler Boyd.
You know what? I disagree. I disagree because I feel that Tyler Boyd has more of a spark coming up on as a bench than Efra would. So
that's exactly what Efra does, though.
Yeah, but that's probably what Vanny's thinking right now. That you know what, I can have this speed when they're already tired, and I can stretch the field in the later minutes.
The thing is, having Efra in those early minutes hurts you because you're not giving anything to the offense. He hasn't showed anything to give in the offense, and to be honest, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. It doesn't even seem like it's taking his fitness serious. I mean, we had the question or the comment last week of him coming off the bench and his body looking a certain way. Dude, you're a professional soccer player. You would think.
I mean,
and he
can
even
block
said
the
it.
ball.
He even said it.
Yeah,
He even said that he wants to have his best year. He got a personal trainer. I know it takes weeks and stuff, but should have done this shit on the offseason.
Yeah, you got to show up, kid. You got to show up. Like,
Well,
ready to work.
And I mean, let's look at it from his point of view, just so that we don't lose touch of how things are.
Yeah.
Many of us, grew up in Latin American homes, and so we spend a lot of our lives living with our families and eating those nice home cooked meals, right?
Yes, delicious.
Especially when you're younger.
Ma
So
spaghetti,
look at
man. Ma spaghetti.
so look at Efra. So he's a young guy. He's still young. Grew up in East Los, and so you're playing with the Galaxy, right? You're obviously not gonna go out and get your own home. You have a child at home at a young age, and you're coming home to nice home cooked meals, and it might not be the most healthy things in the world. And all of a sudden, you start to realize that it's affecting your health, and it's affecting your fitness on the pitch. And this is your bread and butter, right? Playing a professional sport. You're an athlete. And all of a sudden, you have to start looking like and acting like and performing like a professional athlete who's supposed to be at the top of their health level, right? You have to eat healthy and work out healthy. And if he doesn't take care of himself, maybe down the line, he's going to have some serious health issues. I'm not saying, he's going to end up that way, but you better start taking care of yourself now, because it's affecting the way you perform. I know that for a fact, my personal preview, when I was in better shape, I could play sports a lot better because I didn't get as tired. And when you get tired, your mind gets slower and you start to make mental mistakes. So maybe that's something that's affecting him now. And like you said, Brian, it might take weeks.
Yeah. I also want to mention again, like, I know this might come off as body shaming, which,
It is.
we're not. I don't think we are, because he's a pro athlete and he gets paid to be in shape and be in top performing shape.
Yeah.
Right. So
At
I do want to clarify that.
Yeah, at least
we
on
make
my
jokes,
end.
but we're not trying to body shame him. This is a guy that makes his living off using his body to perform at a professional level, right?
Yeah, same with me. It's not to like shit on the kid. Dude,
Well-
I want him to do well on his team. I want him to be his best version. That way he can help out the LA Galaxy. That's my only thing. It has nothing to do with his
And then-
personal
and then-
things at home or anything like that.
And then we're this poor fucking dead horse. We're beating the dead horse again.
Yeah.
And it's just this shows how big of an issue is, right? That we keep coming back to this same issue.
Yeah.
20 years old. I said this in the chat. I don't know if you caught it last night where they fucking kept me up in the chat.
No.
Dude, it was like 100 messages, huh, when you woke up.
Oh, shit.
You didn't see it?
Nah, I didn't see it.
All right, yeah, it was like 100 messages. The main thing I brought up is like doesn't come into shape now. He's 20.
Mm-hmm.
You remember being 20?
You
You did 3 sit-ups and you were ripped.
Yeah.
Bro,
What the fuck? One.
What happens later when he gets older and
Yeah.
that metabolism slows down and it's harder to recover, and so that's
I mean, everybody has different body
That's the
types.
issue. That's the issue.
Yeah,
That's
that's
I think
why-
that's the issue.
that's why I lose faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
This is my point, right? And you call me the biggest Efra hater, but I'm just
You are.
I call him as it is, right? How many other players have I called out from the Galaxy when they've come to Galaxy 2?
Exactly
Galaxy 2.
one.
No, more than one.
I don't know.
More than one. But yeah, I love the sport. I've seen the sport long enough to know when there's an issue, when there's a problem.
I mean,
Coastal, you're next, bro. You're just lucky you're not on the field. We
Yeah.
forget about you.
You're lucky.
you're lucky you're
Let's
thin.
get
You're
back to
lucky
the
you're
game.
thin. You're lucky you're thin.
Let's get back to the game. This poor dead horse is just
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Second half.
powder right
Second
now,
half.
dude.
Second half, and let's talk some positives actually. Stellar goalkeeping
Hey, we
this
almost
game.
scored.
Ah,
And it was from an effort pass. There we go.
There you go.
I called him effort because it was a good pass.
there it is.
Yeah, Memo played
Yeah.
him through, and that was about the clear chance. Yeah.
That was it. All the
I think
shots
that was
came.
it. That was it.
Yeah, the most of the shots came from
Kansas.
from Efra, and besides that, in the Galaxy, came from Efra and Memo.
Well, there you go. Positive, guys.
That's a positive. I mean, I guess
That whole one.
that
came from
whole
them
one.
too?
That whole one.
2-2.
One was property. One
2-2.
property.
But
Anyway,
let's talk about the positives, right? It was an onslaught, bro, from this fucking team.
yeah,
I guess a positive is that I don't feel like any of these like shots or or dangerous moments came from defenders per se. I think there was one where Leerdam kind of lost track of his man, but most of those shots were coming from the outside and not so dangerous positions. And of course, we can't talk about the defense without mentioning Jalen Neal's performance in this game.
Stellar performance, dude, for a kid. I know you had your doubts about him.
No, it wasn't. No.
Cool, because of the coaching.
Yeah. Don't make me a bad guy here. No. There's FS supporters that hate me already. So I'm high on the kid. All right, let's make that clear.
I thought it would have been after that first mess, little mess up that he had in the first half. After that, dude, this is what we got to see in the U.S. national team.
And you know what?
He looked comfortable in that position.
Too, that also speaks volumes of him to start and your first touch be that and then bounce
recover.
back.
Yeah,
like
that's very
right
mature.
Yep.
That's a mature thing from your young center back, who for me, he's so educated with his feet. Because to be a center back and still have those passes, he had a 97% pass accuracy rate.
Damn.
That's your center back. 5 blocks, 3 clearances,
And
5 recoveries, 1 interception.
I think Vanny has that confidence in him. I mean, I know it's second half, but when he switched formation, he had him as his last center back. I think that speaks volume for him to be the main center back in the back and have Cáceres and Mavinga on the side. He's basically your last resort, and you're putting in a 18-year-old in there.
Yeah,
I think that speaks volume to the type of confidence that he has and the potential that he sees in Jalen Neal. So I'm excited for that. Not too many positives in this game, I guess, in the first half or second half, but I think I think that was one of them. Jalen Neal had a good performance.
That's the biggest one.
Well, no, I thought the biggest one was Braun, but no, that's not the story. We already knew that coming in.
Bond has inconsistencies, but we've seen this from Bond before. We're seeing a first from Jalen, right? We're getting our full first taste of Jalen. So to me, this is easily the biggest positive.
Another thing that I noticed from Jalen's game is even off the ball, trying to guard players, the way that he uses his space to close out. Like I'm not sure if he's speedy. I don't think he is.
He's not. But he uses.
But
his
it looks like he
closeout,
uses his angles right.
IQ,
yeah.
IQ. I don't think Cáceres is that speed either. But it's just this is IQ.
The smarts, yeah. And to have him next to a veteran like Cáceres, that's you play better when you have a veteran next to you. I remember playing.
Oh, for sure.
With veterans when I was younger, and you know,
because you want to prove yourself. That's why.
And they give you that confidence. And then especially when you have Cáceres, you see him in practice day in, day out. Damn, Jalen Neal, we got one.
Yeah,
we got one.
All that he's missing is a little size, and that's it. Yeah. It's gonna be
that. You see, that's gonna be one of the growing pains I think coming into the season. It's gonna be his body's not there fully developed yet, so he's gonna get tore up. He's gonna get tore up in one of these games, and you're gonna see it.
Growing pains. Yeah. He's 19. That size is gonna come. Omar Gonzalez too. He was like, I don't know if you guys remember. He wasn't skinny, but he was like flabby, but like tall, thin, flabby. I don't know. He wasn't tall.
He looked like a baby giraffe.
Yeah, and then and look at him towards the end.
Yeah.
So we think Jalen Neal is probably gonna surpass Efra.
He already did. What the fuck are you talking about?
What you got for positives, Edgar, from this game?
We're talking about the game in general, or just
first half?
First and second half, yeah. The game, just in general, the game.
All right, well, I guess just the game then.
But just to let you know how frustrating this game was, I happened to come across this podcaster who covers Sporting Kansas City. It's a Kansas City podcaster, and I don't know if you guys saw this video on Twitter. I know it was floating around. But this guy was so frustrated with the performance of Sporting Kansas City against what he felt was a very lame LA Galaxy team that was ripe for the picking, that this guy was like, look at me, look how pissed off I am. And he just started dropping F-bombs about Sporting Kansas City, like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? We should have beat these guys. I'm frustrated. And he was just yelling, and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this guy really expected Galaxy to lose to Kansas City. And if you see how angry they are, and then us, we're like, yeah, we're happy to get a point despite this barrage from Kansas City. It just goes to show how much frustration there is on both sides. Because some people were saying it was a boring match. I'm not saying all 0-0 matches are boring because we've seen some amazing matches and scoreless. But this game is one that you're not going to look back later on and remember very well or remember fondly. You're like, yeah, remember that one game in Kansas City? That was amazing. We're going to remember for one of the biggest positive, which obviously Jalen Neal. And I was going to say something. After what we saw last week over center backs, especially with Chris Mavinga, the fact that Jalen Neal came in and played so well, that is not just exciting, but it's relief. It's something that we need so much in this team. We've seen them struggle in many different facets, struggle to even put some kind of team on the field, right? They're still missing pieces. And to put one of those pieces that we were asking for in there, a young guy, and he did so well. That's much needed relief. And one of the things that I loved about him was he's very calm. And we mentioned this already, but I'm going to say it again. He positions himself very well so he doesn't have to do too much. And this is something that contributed to that clean sheet for Bond. Because yes, Bond had to make some saves, but if the defense wasn't there, making things difficult for Kansas City's forwards. So they had to make so many shots and none of them were like really dangerous. It makes Bond's job easier. So, man, I'm so glad that Neil did so well. Happy for him, happy for his mom, and happy for us because hopefully he gets better and better as time passes. And I want to say that Bond did great, but once again, it's not like Kansas City was like really threatening that much. I mean, there were some good shots. I mean, Eddie, what do we always say?
Everyone gets one.
Everyone gets one, right?
Well, this time they got 30.
Yeah.
No, they were like Edgar said. One, we've seen this from Bond before. Two, they were routine saves, right? Saves that you expect a professional keeper to make.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember. In this game, it was spectacular save. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They were all secure. No nervous moments for me, at least, when he got those saves. But I can't think of any
the first
spectacular saves.
First half, he made a good save where he shot from far and
over the bar.
Yeah,
but I think it was more theatrics.
Think so?
Still got a hand on it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about coaching.
Yeah, that was cool.
What's up with the coaching this against Kansas City? Because Dejan got taken out early. Well, somewhat early.
Let's talk about Dejan now, right?
Oh, that's an interesting. That is a very interesting topic.
Let me get Edgar mad real quick
because we had a conversation what the team needs with Dejan.
He has his Dejan jersey right there, like he's like balling it up in his hand right now, getting ready to retweet his Dejan Day flag. No, but they're okay. I think one. And me and Edgar were talking about this, so Edgar got a preview already. One is that I want to put quite a bit of blame on Vanny here, right? I think most of the preseason they had Chicha, and Vanny had no backup plan at all. This doesn't look like a team that's playing for a striker like Dejan, right? And I think it becomes very obvious. One, his runs off the ball in this game. Do you remember when Alex pointed out too that him and Ricky were going at each other? They were yelling at each other. But I see when they're running these plays, these counters, these quote unquote counters, Dejan would make runs where he'd take his own lane away, or there was times where he sit and want the ball when he should have turned and made these runs, right? Like this isn't for him. This style of play or strategy or whatever. And I think it becomes obvious, and I'm not saying he's the answer, but when Preston Judd comes in, he's a different type of player, right? He's not the answer. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not knocking Preston Judd either because he's doing great when he comes in. But I feel like he got as many touches as Dejan did in the little time that he was there, as much or more in the time that Dejan was in those few minutes that he got, because his runs were different. His runs were also open up. They got a lot more dangerous when he came in. Right? Yeah. So I mean, as dangerous as this this Galaxy team can be.
yeah.
Right? But you found more open space. You found us getting deeper into the final third when Preston Judd came in. Because he was making those runs. He was peeling off defenders. He was doing the right moves, right? Opening up not just in the center. There was times where I remember somebody missed him where he was open on the second pole because he opened himself up. So it's just like this team is not constructed to play with a Dejan type player, right? So it sucks, but Dejan is not the guy or the starter as long as we're playing this
type of
whatever fucking strategy is supposed to be.
Well, that also the question is, how do we make Dejan work? We had this conversation here, and I know the LA Galaxy is in need of wingers.
Yeah.
But you suggested maybe we actually need that number 10 because Ricky Puig, as good as he is.
Yeah, that's not for the Dejan solution. That's something that this Galaxy team has needed forever, right?
But why not? You're going to need somebody, that number 10, who could be dangerous from the opposition's third on their side of the goal. Ricky Puig gives you balls from deep.
Yeah.
He doesn't really give you those.
He can't break
the lines once we're in their side of the pitch. And maybe that number 10 could open up Dejan and see those passes better. I know we need wingers, but maybe that could be another player that Vanny might consider trying to bring in as well.
Which is crazy because we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Ricky's not a number 10, right? He could benefit from having a number 10.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to happen in the Vanny era. I don't think we're going to get a number 10, but which is crazy because
Pozuelo and
Jovinko, guys that he got.
Yep.
It's like, why didn't we get one of those guys here?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he ever? It doesn't even feel like we ever looked or linked into one of those players.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go to the Galaxy and change my coaching style. That's kind of interesting.
Climb out, baby.
He's like the number 10 whisperer. You know, he was bringing in players who are balling out in the number 10, but
not this year.
Hasn't happened for us in the last 3 years. So.
Damn.
We'll
Could respond to that, by the way.
There he goes. All right. You saw how he's quiet? Look how ready he is.
He mad as fuck right now.
I can tell you what's going on, and let's look back. Excuse me. Let's look at last season and the goals that Dejan scored. A lot of those goals were in transition. It was like late in the games, right? And when it would look either Galaxy was losing or some of his games were out of hand and Galaxy was doing on a counter and he linked up with some of his teammates and he would score some goals. Another thing that Dejan is really good at is he's somebody that creates something out of nothing. And we've seen that some of the best things that he's done is when he gets the ball or he gathers it outside of the box and he figures out how to beat defenders and then beat the goalkeepers, whether it's to the far post or by shooting, getting the ball off to his teammates. We haven't seen him do any of this yet. And why? And it's something that Eddie pointed out, which is throughout the entire preseason, all we saw was this team was being built around a Chicharito style offense. What did we see in that first game? What kind of a goal was that? It was a Chicha style goal, right? Where he gets into the six and the ball's there and he manages to tap it in. This is something that Chicharito, that's what he does. That's, his, I said it earlier, his bread and butter. Yeah, that's how he makes his living. And that's not the Dejan that we know. Yeah, he can score those goals if you give it to him, but he's more of a guy that likes to gather the ball outside the box or create something on a transition. And he hasn't had the opportunity to do that because this Galaxy team isn't built like that or isn't geared for that, or they're not in that type of form yet. So that's why he's been struggling, I think. And you're probably right, man. Somebody like Preston Judd, who's willing to be more mobile, maybe he has that freedom because he doesn't come in with the kind of range that maybe a Dejan Joveljic has. So Preston Judd comes in as this young guy, and Danny's like, go ahead, go loose, kid. You have green light to do whatever the fuck you want. And so Preston Judd comes in there, and of course he looks better because he doesn't have to adhere to this style of football. He's not Chicharito. He's not Dejan Joveljic. He's Preston Judd. And he still hasn't put his stamp on the game yet, and we're starting to see that now.
We might. Hey, you know what? That's another thing we need to talk about was Preston Judd. way he's looked these last couple games. Could be a good rotation player for us in this season. So and as far as Jovic though, like Edgar said, I mean, he's better when he has the ball in his feet. And when he sees the court in front of him instead of him playing, with his back to the goal. So
yeah, but it's gonna be interesting. You said he's a good rotation player, but it's like when Chicha comes back, when are you ever gonna see him?
Yeah,
Open Cup, Leagues Cup.
that's true.
Shut up, Eddie.
Does
What do you know?
But does Chicha coming back really help out this team to produce more on the offensive side?
Because
Yes.
Vanny obviously has no other plan.
Yeah, I know.
This begs another question.
we just spent 45 minutes talking about how
That-
there's no other
that's
plan
that-
but Chicho ball.
Plan A to Z.
Now,
Chicha.
This begs another question I want to bring up to you guys is, I remember one of the questions that we had last year was, hey, is Chicha coming back another year? And we found out about that clause, right? Where like, yeah, he scores so many goals. He kicks in the option. And this is at a time when Daniel Jovic was scoring goals and he said, I'm the future. So maybe at that point he thought to himself, oh, Chicha will be gone next year and they could start building this offense around me. And that hasn't happened. And now Chicha's there. And so Deion's kind of like in limbo. So where do we go from here?
Paradise. Trouble in paradise.
Fucking Vanny.
By the way, I love Deion.
No, he too.
He didn't have a good game. He hasn't had a good game.
Well, I just
this
told you
game
why.
Or the last game.
So, obviously, another thing worth mentioning is just Bondi with his 67 saves in this game. Like I said, they were standard saves, right? But still, shout out to him. He did his job. But
Yeah, hell yeah.
this game ends up stalemate.
Yeah.
I feel there isn't much else to talk about. We already bashed everybody, praised Neo and Bondi. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we get to some awards and move on?
Well, just the fact that there's a really angry Sporting Kansas City podcaster out there should tell you that this is a positive for us.
We stole a point. We stole a point, guys. We stole a point.
Let's be honest, dude. As Galaxy fans, if we walked away with 0 goals after 30 shots, we'd be pretty upset.
Yeah.
So. Actually, you know what? No, I'd be happy that we got 30 shots off with this team.
Yeah.
I think any team after getting 30 shots on them and not scored on would be happy. So I think that's a positive.
Okay.
Also, another positive, Eddie, is
how you will.
whoa. Another positive we could have is, sorry, that threw me off. Another big positive is I follow a lot of podcasts around the league, and one of the ones that I really follow closely is the Charlotte TV, the CLT TV podcast. And these guys came into the season really excited about their team, especially how they, their season ended on a high note. And so there's some parallels there with us, right? Because our season ended on, really well, and then obviously that tough loss in the playoffs. But overall, everybody's optimistic. And they're the same way. They're optimistic. And one of the things that I've noticed about Charlotte, because I've been following how they've been doing, they've had a really hard time also with the high press. But unlike Galaxy, they've been getting destroyed week in and week out. So, guys, it could be a lot worse. You could have, you could be facing against, somebody like Thiago Almada, burying shots down your throat. We could have lost to St. Louis already. So, hey, we didn't lose that first game, to the Levas. And it's really weird. I know it's supposed to be a home game, but it really does feel like Galaxy has been on the road forever. And now they're coming back to the dig. It's like, what? All right, guys, let's get the real season underway now.
Don't worry, Edgar. There's still enough time to get that feeling
To
going.
disappoint.
I mean, that's one of the things, though, that I think and I hope this team is going to get better because it's the beginning of the season. Usually this is where you work out your kinks, right? And we've seen last year that our team started slow, and at the end of the season, we were the hottest team in the league. We were on a winning streak, and if it wasn't for that last 2 minutes of that fucking playoff game, I think we would have won that game. So I'm choosing to believe that there's there's positive in this, and that things are going to get better. Unfortunately, right now we're stuck in this postal-less and no wingers type of team, and we just got to ride through it. That's all.
Ooh. Ready for a bad dad joke?
Bad dad joke?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question after that. Dumbass.
Here he goes. You guys ready? Terrible. I just thought of it. It's terrible. I promise it's terrible. We're missing a sleeve sponsor. Why not Red Bull? Think about it. Yes.
Stupid. Gives you wings. Damn it.
Thank you.
Here's the question.
You laugh now, so you can.
Here's the question, though. Willis hit an interesting point about how this team was better off towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
When do we start hitting the panic button? I'll go first.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Because we had this conversation as well yesterday.
Yeah.
I say 3 games after the April 24th closing transfer window. Right now, I'm not even mad that they got this point and that they look like shit. But there's players that still need to come in, and we need them to integrate in those 3 games. You know, after that, we'll start hitting the
I'll
panic
go
button.
second.
Go for it.
You're giving them way too much time. First off,
But that's the time frame that we have.
No. So, like you said, we ended as one of the hottest teams at the end of the season last year. A lot of it had to do with the 3 in the middle, which are still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd imagine they'll get it together again sooner than later because now they had a whole off season. So I think by the time the 2 wingbacks come in, like 2-3 weeks after that, you should have an idea, because by then you'd imagine that someone like Tyler Boyd is informed to start, and if the number 7 thing is not working out, that the coach would have already figured out. If 2-3 weeks after those guys come in, we're still seeing that number 7 there with the same performance playing there, and those 2 wingbacks aren't it, there's your panic button right there.
Yeah.
So you're giving them way too much time. April 24th, bro, you should start making plans for October, because you're gonna have no playoff games to go to.
I disagree, and I'm with Brian because he still has moves to make. There's still moves to be made. So
Yeah,
number
but you
7 can no longer be number 7.
But you'll have an idea. Is my point. Like you'll start to see it, right? Once these guys come in.
True, but if you're talking about panic button, we didn't start hitting the panic button last year till after the halfway mark. So after we were like,
But we
yo,
don't have the
we're
same options as last year.
We're out of playoff contention. As long as we're in playoff contention, I think the panic button should not be hit, especially with that Brugman, Puig, and Delgado midfield, which I think could be one of the best in the MLS, to be honest. Not playing like it right now, especially with Brugman going at it with number 7 for turnovers of the year. But I think that trio is going to be one of the best midfields in the MLS, and it's just going to take time. It's only 2 games in. Luckily, we didn't play that first game because we would have got embarrassed. But this is what happens in the beginning of the year. You know this. You know it takes time. So I'm going to be patient, and I'm not going to hit that panic button yet.
I already hit that button.
What you got, Edgar?
I'm kind of like in the middle, and the reason I say it's just because we still have a little bit more time to see how these guys that are coming into the team are going to gel, and it's not going to be immediate. But obviously, the one thing that's hanging over the team is the fact that there won't be any kind of relief coming in the summer. There's nothing coming to the summer transfer window, so you got that sense of urgency to make sure that you get the players that are going to make a really big difference, or are going to be some of the pillars that are going to carry this club throughout the season and throughout all the different tournaments, and hopefully into the playoffs, are already there and are set in place. So that way you can start to build something, a semblance of a team that might be a contender for something, right? You want to have those pieces in place now, instead of thinking to yourself, well, if it doesn't work out, we have that summer transfer window and we could move some pieces around and maybe get rid of this DP and bring in some other guy. And then if you're thinking to yourself, well, even if we don't have that international transfer window, we can still make some trades. Do you really think some of the other teams in the league are going to do the Galaxy a solid and send us like some of their more established players over
Income
for
team,
somebody
Johnny
like a
Russell.
number 7. I
Colorado
don't think
did.
so.
Colorado did. I mean,
But that's
same.
because those guys are friends.
Shout out to the
I
Frasers.
think,
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out to the Frasers.
Yeah, and let me tell you, if you want to go on that tangent, just real quick, I'm going to say I follow this Colorado podcaster, and they're becoming very disillusioned very quickly of a certain Mr. Kevin Cabral.
Nice.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my god.
Yo, hey, just I don't know. I thought it was funny, but he started this last week.
He did, and then he vanished.
I know that was fun. I don't know.
But,
It's funny.
yeah.
I guess because we know the insider, but
Good old Cabral.
But going back to what I said, it's just that sense of urgency that you better make sure you get the guys that you're gonna need now,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna have that sense of relief in the summer, and nobody's gonna do you any favors. So you better build what you can now.
It's got to be all.
And
home
I think
runs.
that's why I kind of understand where Eddie's coming from. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think the guys that are coming in now, they're not gonna make an immediate impact right away unless they're really that good,
But
right?
I'm not saying immediate impact. I mean, I don't know if you guys are like not really trying to see what I'm trying to say is like I want to see these guys come in, and most of us here have a good idea of how this sport goes, right? How it works, and you've seen enough players come through to where you see these guys and you're like, okay, we're gonna be okay. These guys are, that's why I say 2-3 weeks to after these guys come in, because I assume the team would be settled. I assume the number 7 situation would be like, okay, this didn't work out. And you see these guys get plugged in and you're like, all right, cool, there's something here. I don't expect them to like go on a fucking 20-game winning streak as soon as they step on the field. I'm just saying that we have to have an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to see Vanny's vision once these guys step in the field. You have to like start to begin to believe. But yeah, that's why 24th is way too late, way too much time, because like there's going to be no Ricky Pooch signing this summer.
It's just
and like what Edgar
there's
said, nobody's going to trade us a star player, right?
Yep.
We're not going to get Johnny Russell. I want Johnny Russell. We're not going to get
Damn
Johnny
it.
Russell, right? Get over it, Eddie. So yeah.
come on, Eddie, come on. No, well, dude, April 24th is only that's a month and a half, man. I mean, there's still a lot of games to be played after that, Eddie. That's why I'm saying.
Jeff, but
That's what I'm telling you.
okay, there's a lot of games left to be played. But imagine on April, whatever, say we have a game on the 25th, all of a sudden we get to that day and you're looking at the exact same starting lineup. The 2 guys that signed weren't it. Number 7 is still there, playing there because Boyd never broke the starting lineup for some reason.
Why so
Positivity,
negative, bro?
man.
I know.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
positivity, guys. I remember certain people also saying that Bruman's a nobody playing for a second division Italian team. Who the hell is this guy? And then look at what's happening. He's now our captain, the spine of our.
Well, we based it
midfield.
on the last game, then I was right.
Yeah, but maybe. Hey, a clock is right 2 times a day, right?
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, see? Told you. I told you.
Anyways, is there more questions? Wait, we had to do awards. What are you doing?
Awards.
Yeah.
No, that was my question to you guys.
Oh, okay. Let's do some awards.
This is some awards.
Let's start with, since we're in the topic, I want to start with the Geo Award, right? I say we're
No number 7.
Yeah. No
For
more,
the
no
game is
more,
off.
no more.
Number 7, I think, is off the table for the rest of the year, I think,
because
right?
does
anybody get the
spending
BJ
rule.
award, by the way?
No BJs this week.
No BJ's.
Okay, good.
Unfortunate.
To the spending rule, right? Why we couldn't give it to Zubac, because that was his game. His game is not off. That's who he is. So number 7, you've been whatever excluded.
Unless he gets better and then fucks up again.
Yeah,
Wow.
that
Damn
takes a
it,
lot.
Chewy. Why are
Well,
you
he-
bringing? Why are you doing?
Well, you know what? He did get that number 7, and you have some kind of expectation, and you heard it, about, hey, I'm gonna start eating healthier and taking care of my body, and then you see him playing, you're like, damn it.
Let's do it together. Let's do it together. But hit me up, bro. I need it too, bro. So if you want to go on this journey together, let's do it. But anyways, so Geo Award. Since we were on the topic, to me this one's easy. From one season to now, to being our captain, Brugman was a huge letdown in this game. Lost, turnovers, just not the guy that I fell in love with last season. To me, it's a no-brainer. If you guys argue with me, you guys are idiots. I'm gonna kick you off the podcast. I'm just kidding. But no, I think it's that, right? The game is off word is perfectly fitting because we hold Brugman to a high standard, and it was terrible. I don't know who I was watching. I didn't feel like it was Brugman, and I don't know. I'm lost for words. I was just highly, highly disappointed.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Mark Delgado. He seemed like he
What?
was. Yeah.
How could? All right. See.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, because
you
Kick
know
him
what
out,
I
Eddie.
just said
Kick him out,
about-
Eddie. Kick
but
him
yeah,
out.
kick
Kick
me
him
out of the
out.
podcast. I was joking. No, I'm just kidding.
dispossessed 3 times, pass accuracy 85. I know it wasn't mostly his fault, but he was left in no man's land,
Damn,
and
That's nuts. Honestly, I don't usually argue about the words, but that's fucking nuts, Frank. 'Cause
yeah. Well, I don't know if I
he
wanted
was
to give
let
it to
down-
Jovic.
He was let down by everybody else, including Jovic. So that's a tough. That's tough.
The obvious one was number 7.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to.
Yeah. So
No, there's a few that are fairly obvious.
There are, and I'm going to disagree with Eddie, but only slightly because he was right there with
Yeah,
my
I know exactly who
Gio
you're going
or
with. Who was it?
Boosh.
Yeah, that's the other guy you
Yeah.
picked.
Ricky
Boosh
yeah.
because of what we expect from him, recently getting that DP tag on him, and performing this way
And saying I want to be
with those turnovers.
MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically did his best legit impersonation that game, where he just disappeared from the game, all the turnovers. Dude, I don't even think he mentioned his name throughout the second half. I think it was ridiculous. And when you have a DP player of that caliber that we know that he is, and for him not to at least create something the way that we know him to create something, I thought that was baffling, and it was a little worrisome. But either way, I think he's gonna get it together. I think it was just a bad game from the team, and personally for this game, I'm gonna give this Ricky Splooge.
Yeah, and look at the two people we just picked.
Well, all 3 of them didn't have a great game. The whole
Yeah,
seven
but
was
of all,
off.
I will
but of
honestly-
all three of them, I think the worst ones were Brugman and Pooch.
And I put a lot of blame on Delgado's bad performance, quote unquote, because of the support. So hopefully Edgar backs us up
Tiebreaker.
here.
Go ahead, Edgar.
Oh,
Is he
Edgar, I dare you to say Dejan, Edgar.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Dejan Jones.
Ah,
No, lies. Hey, zoom in on his eyes. He's gonna have these Brendan Fraser crying eyes right now.
No, I was actually thinking Dejan Jovic, and it's easy to pick on him because from the outside looking in, because you're like, yeah, we're supposed to be scoring goals, and he's supposed to be making a difference, and here's his opportunity to do something. But like we discussed earlier, this team's offense has been built around a Chicharito style of player. But then we go to the whole aspect of Dejan, who he is, and he's supposed to be a very cerebral person, a very intelligent person. We see his accomplishments as a chess champion. So we know he's a smart guy. We know he understands tactical and strategic development. And so if you know that things are set up for Chicharito, why don't you adjust your style of play to fit the team and try to make yourself more, I was going to say usable, but that's not a word, but more apt to scoring goals. Do something, try to be more flexible. And we're not seeing that. Yeah, I think he's still trying to play his way, or maybe he's upset because he wants to play a certain way, and Vanny's telling him, you got to get in the box, and you got to do this, and that's not who he is. But at the same time, he's supposed to be able to figure things out. He's a smart guy, and that's something you want in your forward. Your forward has to be able to adapt to different styles of play and different things that your manager asks for you, and he's not doing that. So that's disappointing. So to me, his game is off.
I am shocked.
Who you got, Chewy?
Gio,
I'm
I
going
knew it.
Ricky as well. Ricky, dude. Yeah.
Tiebreaker.
We expect a lot, and we didn't get a lot. We didn't even get a little bit.
That's literally the
Damn.
only DP we have on the field.
Literally.
Literally. Damn.
I-
At least Kevin Cabral was able to get on the field.
Sheesh.
Oh my god! All right,
The honorable mention.
this one's. I'm gonna go with this one because fuck Bryant.
I'm shocked no one mentioned Raheem, by the way.
Oh wow.
He's that bad that we just.
Which is okay. Anyways,
Is that what we expect from him?
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody mentioned Kelvin.
nah. So I'm gonna go with
Damn.
Mark Delgado
Mm.
because I feel he was the only one doing his job in the middle of the field. He was, to my opinion, eye test. He was always where he was supposed to be. The turnovers that he did were forced, not lack of him trying. It's just him having no support. And yeah, I think he's literally the only guy that understood the assignment and looked like that part of that midfield that we were so hopeful would come back this year from last season.
Yeah.
So to me, Mark Delgado, honorable mention just because poor guy was alone in that middle of this game.
I'm gonna give it an Efra. No, I'm just playing.
Damn, if we really wants to get kicked out of this spot.
Nah, I am gonna go with the young guy though, Jalen Neal. Debut, and what a
mention?
debut for the honorable mention. Yeah, this kid had a stellar game. Put in on his debut with the club. Finally, I mean, he debuted with the national team first. Now he debuted with the club. Looked great, and would like to see more of him on the pitch. So Jalen Neal gets the honorable mention. Wee boop.
Whoever wants to take it next.
I'll go next. I also agree with Brian. I'm gonna give it to Jalen Neal. Youngster, first game in, shaky in that first possession, but was able to gather himself and played a hell of a game, I think. And maybe little nitpicking here and there, just because as a defender you see things and maybe some things that he did wrong, but for the most part, he performed really well and far from his age, 19, 18 years old. He looks like he's at least 25 in his, at least the way he plays,
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give it to Jalen Neal, and I hope we see more of this too. So
Yep.
I'm kind of excited.
Edgar.
I'm gonna give it to Bondi. People gonna look at the statistics and think to themselves, "Damn, Jonathan Bond had a monster game. He had a beast of a game. This guy should get all the plaudits in the world for his performance." And yeah, he was probably the Galaxy player with the highest ranking, I think. What was it, Eddie? I was trying to look it up over here. He got a 9.3, so he was considered the player of the game. And so, I mean, obviously about him, we don't end up with the draw, and he got his clean sheet. So he showed a lot of heart, just like his mentor, who is the name, who's the name of this award, Mr. Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Next,
Chewy.
Yeah, I'm going with Bond as well. After seeing how bad that that mid and some of his defenses, he didn't lose his composure. He kept playing. I mean, yep, most of those shots were not super aggressive or super bad against him, but you get 30 plus shots. Hey, you can lose your temper, if you're that goalie.
Yeah. True. Now for the Prestige Award of the next standing player of the game.
Just keep it in order. You want me to go? You want to go?
I'm going to go with Bond because of that.
I guess
In the
it was-
first half, he's the reason why the game was 0-0.
Okay. Cool. I mean, the reason I didn't give it to Bondi, and it's like not to knock him or anything, is because I told you there's standard saves still. Great game, but I knew you guys were gonna give it to Bondi, at least one of them. So I was like, let me say fuck you, Brian, and with Fuck, I already forgot his name. Delgado. But next standing, bro, Jalen Neal. To me, solid performance. I loved it. I cannot forget the fact that his first touch. We've all played. I've played like never at that level, but you know, like in leagues where maybe I'm like debuting with a team, or you know, somebody, hey, you know, you're pretty decent, come help us out, and then I fuck up, and then it just ends up being a long ass game, you know.
Yeah.
So for a 19-year-old kid to bounce back the way he did, and then have zero complaints about his performance after that, and instead we're all praising him here. And it's a shutout game where the shots were, again, not very dangerous shots, and they were coming from the outside. Jalen Neal is next standing a player, and then I hope this is not the last one we give him.
Yep.
And how does it go, Brian?
What? I don't know.
Never mind. I'll talk about it later.
Give it to me, Neil.
All right, let's go in the same order. Willis?
That was funny. Well, obviously, I gave it to Jalen Neal for the Hartman Award, but it was basically splitting hairs between him and Bond. So I'm going to go to Bond. I know Edgar said that because of the stats and this and that, you know, it's easy to give it to him, but it's easier to give it to him because, well, the stats back it up. So 11 saves out of 30 shots. Maybe some were easy, some were not, but he was still there, was still able to make those saves, and he kept the defense steady. So I think Bond was the player of the game, next standing player of the game, and hopefully we get more clean sheets from Bond. So I'm gonna go to Bond.
Edgar.
Stop it. Obviously, Jalen Neal. To be put in that position, come in and try to perform in a professional league at such a young age and have so much composure. I'm trying to think myself, like, at that age, what kind of stuff was going through my mind when I was playing? I was like, don't fuck up. And it seems to me like he came in there with like an idea of exactly what he wanted to do and how he was going to play, and he looked unflappable. That's a great word. He, like I said earlier, he's a cool character. He's very calm and collected, and he seems to have a good footballing IQ, which is something that is extremely valuable in a defender, because these are guys that see the game develop before their eyes, and to be able to position yourself before things happen, it takes a load off your job and off a lot of pressure off your goalkeeper. And if this is what we're seeing now at the very beginning, man, I'm really excited to see where he goes from here. Yeah, Kansas City's not that great, but hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And only one way to go from here. Let's go up, baby.
Yep. You can only play who they put in front of you. So
Yep.
all right. Oh, Chewy, I'm sorry. My bad, dude.
Well, yeah. Jalen Neal.
Bang, bang.
There you go.
That's a good one.
We win.
Bang bang.
How does it feel to be wrong?
You stupid bitch.
All right, we got some questions, man.
Yeah, we got a couple
We'll fly
questions.
through them.
Let's start with the...
Nag always starts late, always ends late.
Yep, let's go. On Instagram, from Sharky14. We should
I like
change
that
the
name.
name of our team to MLS Rejects. From Tony Be Real.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
I don't know.
A bunch of TFCX X guys.
Yeah, XTFC. That's a better name. Come on, get creative, Sharky.
Tony Be Real. Neo and Casares, our go-to CB pairing from here on out.
I would say
Not yet.
careful
Not yet.
with Neil.
Yeah, not yet.
You slowly
Give him
get
that
onto
confidence.
that. Yeah. You don't want to.
Overwhelm him and then, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I think Sega
don't
and him.
Don't just to put it in perspective. Don't just hand him the number 7. Make him earn it.
Wow.
Ex-Fern Dog. We suck.
Good
I like-
question.
I like that question. I
Good
like that
observation. Yeah.
100%. We do.
100%. Hey, do
We
it
do.
right. Who is it?
X-Fern
Completely
Dog.
there.
Expert dog. We suck. Yes.
Yes. And
For now.
last question, which we are going to talk about this. Will you guys be joining the protests at the home opener?
Okay. So
And thank you guys to everybody who submitted questions.
thank you so much. So the LA Galaxy up next have the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yes.
Right. We had the unfortunate pleasure to watch their last game
Oh my
against
God.
Dallas.
They're also bad.
Talk about a snooze fest.
Yes.
But the bad thing here is we watched it, and there's a lot of similarities to Dallas. They played against Dallas, and there was a lot of similarities between both teams, and we all remember what Dallas did to us. Right? So, that being said, the LA Galaxy play against the Vancouver Whitecaps in their home opener at 7:30 at Dignity Hill Sports Park. As the question mentioned, there will be a protest. All supporter groups put it out there. There will be a protest starting at 6:30 at Legends Plaza to protest and show their displeasure with the front office and the way things have been going. So if you want to go ahead and express your displeasure as well, everyone's welcome. It's not just a supporter group thing. So join them 6:30. For more details, follow any other supporter groups. Maybe message them. I don't know much details besides what they've posted. I honestly have not asked myself. And if you want me to be honest, at least I won't be at the protest just because I'm not a protest type person. You know, I'm not I protest in my own way. And as as anybody else wants to protest with your wallet, with your, you're not showing your face at the stadium or, or being out there with them at Legends Plaza is totally up to you the way you want to protest. Again, I won't be at the actual protest myself. So that's my honest answer. If you guys want to answer it, feel free. If not, you guys are welcome just to pass.
Pass. I don't know.
Nom.
But join. If you guys want to join it. If
Yeah.
not, that's also cool.
Yeah.
Hit up the support group pages. Riot Squad, Angel City, Outlaws, Galaxians, right?
Elections, yeah.
They all have it out. Hit them for more info. See what you guys can take, what you guys can, all that stuff. So cool. Now that we do predictions,
Nobody else wants to answer. That's fine. Just
Yeah.
putting it out there.
No.
Oh,
I mean, the protest,
I don't know. Willis, are you going to be there?
I,
Willis, are you
well,
gonna be there via Zoom?
I had plans to go. You know what? I mean, at least for me, I'm glad. Well, I don't know if it's glad, but I guess I'm fortunate that I'm not in LA to actually have to make that type of choice.
That decision.
Because it's a tough decision. I get it. I get that, you're unhappy with what's happening with the front office but you also want to support the G's, right? And it's this balancing act that you're stuck in the middle, and it sucks. And unfortunately, I guess fortunate enough to not have to go through that because I'm by default don't have to go. But yeah, I mean, if I was there, I probably would go. I probably would go, and just to support the support groups and everything that they do, and it's just the support groups are basically the heartbeat of the team, and when the support group are not there, you feel it.
And
You feel it.
I can answer that question, by the way.
go for it.
Yeah. As you guys know, I've been covering the team since 1997, and I am a career journalist. Although, that's not what I do as my jobby job. I used to be a journalist, like an actual sports journalist. So I will be there. And I think one of the things that I will be there as an observer and as a journalist, because as much as I support what's going on, I'm still, like I said, client out. But somebody has to be the eyes and the ears for this and report what's going to happen and do so from an unbiased point of view. And that's something that I'm accustomed to doing as a sports journalist. Like when I attended the kit launch, I was there as a neutral observer, and I saw what was going on, and I captured the voices of people that were there, and I also wrote about and talked about what happened at the kit launch. I didn't pull any punches. I called it exactly like it was, and pointing out the stuff that was okay, the stuff that wasn't so good, and the stuff that was just downright messy. And that's one of the things that I do, and it's something that I think our listeners or viewers are owed to them to get a unbiased, fair, journalistic point of view about the things that revolve around this team.
On the other side of things, right, is the game. It's a home opener. You know, there's excitement in the air for a lot of fans, right? They're not necessarily protesting that way, so don't feel obligated or scared or like you're a traitor if you go to the game. You know, there's people that miss going to the stadium, right, and still are climbed out. So you can still be climbed out and go to the game, right? Again, you have the right to protest however you want or not protest. You know, at the end of the day, if you're a Galaxy fan, you're a Galaxy fan.
Yeah.
So game is at 7:30, home opener. I'm sure the details will come out later as far as tailgating. Given the supporter group situation, I don't know if the tailgate area will be open, but maybe just keep your eyes open to see what the tailgate situation will be if there is any. Like, or there's always the grass area in the back.
Yeah.
Like by the fire station, and also I don't know what the feeling is about this, but I mean, again, if you want to go protest, maybe ask if you want to do that and also go to the game, you know, without getting yourself in any kind of trouble. I don't know if that's an option, but I personally don't see anything wrong with it. Again, you could still express your displeasure with the front office and then be able to go watch the game. And, you know, especially if you're a season ticket member that already paid.
Yeah.
I feel you. So, yeah.
It's still climbing out.
Yeah.
It's still climbing out.
Yeah.
Don't bite into the negative chatter on Twitter. There's a lot of people that have negative things to say about this protest. And don't bite into that. Everybody should be, I mean, you're entitled to your opinions and stuff, but, you know, there's people trying to make a difference. Don't shit on it. Just go your own way.
If you disagree, just
let it be and go your own way.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's cool.
Just
yeah, you know what I mean?
turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Let people be, man. Let people be. Let them be what they
As long as
want.
not being destructive to people that show up to the games, that's fine. Right?
Don't break any coolers.
Yeah, different people protest different ways, and all these different voices are important because at the end of the day, the one thing that we're all agree on is we don't like having Chris Klein as the team president, and whether we show up and protest outside the stadium or we protest inside by having our voices heard, or we there to report on what happens. The thing that matters is that we're all a united front.
It's the same goal. It's the same goal.
Yeah.
It's the same goal.
Common enemy.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Let's get up out of here.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Everyone good?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in live, or if you're listening to it later on the streaming services. We appreciate you as well. Come check out the chat. Somebody called me not funny, which is a first. That sucks, but it's okay. It's a first for everything.
Yeah.
So don't come on the live chat. You can do that to me because that should hurt my feelings. Just kidding. Yeah. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. You know, enjoy the game if you go. If you don't, enjoy the game anyways on your TV, phone, whatever. If you want to find me on socials, you can find me as Eddie Nags on all Twitter, Instagram, and wherever else.
You can find me as Bryant Nags, BRYANT, on Instagram and Twitter. Willis?
You can find me as Willis_89 on Twitter.
Edgar?
Yep, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Edgar Nags. Not to be confused with Eddie Nags, of course.
Chewy.
You guys can find me as Chavez JAA, Chavez Ha, pretty much everywhere. Pretty easy, pretty simple.
There it is. Pretty simple.
Good.
Let's go.
Yeah. Again, appreciate all you guys for tuning in.
Subscribe, like, all that stuff.
Subscribe, like, whatever helps the Nag Boys get up out of here. Damn.
Help the algorithm. Help the algorithm.
To get the word out
guys.
for the Nag Boys, for Bryant, Willis, Chewy, and Edgar. Thank you again. We're going to get up out of here. Till next time.
Keep on nagging. Keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging.
Cheap.